The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is not another book about investing formulas or budgets. It's about human nature, about why people who know what to do with money still don't do it. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful lessons from the psychology of money that reshape how we think about wealth, success, and freedom. The first lesson hits instantly. No one's crazy. Everyone makes financial decisions that make perfect sense to them in that moment. A man saving half his salary might look stingy, but maybe he grew up watching his parents lose everything. A woman spending freely on travel might seem careless, but maybe she grew up believing life is short and uncertain. Our experiences shape our financial behavior more than logic ever will. If you grew up during an economic crash, you probably play defense. If you came of age during a boom, you might think risk always pays off. Once you get this, judgment fades. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize we're all playing different money games. Their timeline, fears, and values aren't yours. Trying to copy someone else's strategy without understanding their story is like wearing someone else's prescription glasses and wondering why you can't see clearly. When this clicks, the focus shifts from comparison to self-awareness. Instead of asking, "What's everyone investing in?" the question becomes, "What am I comfortable with? What game am I playing?" The second lesson is about luck and risk. It reveals just how thin the line between success and failure really is. Housel tells the story of Bill Gates, who became the richest man in the world, partly because his high school, Lakeside, just happened to have one of the only computers in the entire state in the late 1960s. That rare opportunity let him start programming before almost anyone his age. But here's the part most people don't know. One of Gates's closest friends, Kent Evans, was just as talented, just as driven, and had planned to start a company with him someday. Before that could happen, Kent died in a mountain climbing accident. Same school, same opportunity, same potential. One became a billionaire, the other never got the chance. That's the lesson. Luck and risk are siblings. Skill matters, but so does timing. Hard work matters, but so does circumstance. And sometimes, the difference between success and tragedy is something no one can control. It's uncomfortable to admit how much of life is outside our hands. But once you accept it, you become both humbler and kinder. You stop worshipping success and start respecting survival. So instead of saying, "I succeeded because I'm smart," say, "I succeeded because I was smart, and probably lucky." And when others fail, remember, it could have been you. That humility keeps you grounded. It stops arrogance before it makes you reckless. The third lesson: never lose sight of enough. We live in a culture obsessed with more. More followers, more money, more recognition. But the word enough rarely gets applause. Some of the biggest financial collapses don't happen to people who had nothing. They happen to people who had everything, but couldn't stop when they had enough. There's a story in the book about a man who once had hundreds of millions of dollars, yet risked everything for one more bet, and lost it all. That's the trap. Once enough keeps shifting, you'll never feel rich no matter how much you make. When you define your own enough, you start playing a calmer game. You stop comparing, you stop rushing, and you start appreciating. Because peace of mind will always be richer than another zero on a statement. Enough means freedom, not luxury. The ability to spend time on what matters without constantly worrying about what you don't have yet. Let's move on to the next lesson. This lesson reframes everything we think we know about success. Wealth is what you don't see. We're surrounded by illusions of wealth. Nice cars, designer clothes, vacation photos. But those things only show you how much money left someone's account, not how much stayed. Real wealth is invisible. It's the quiet savings, the unposted sacrifices, the self-control that no one claps for. It's the ability to sleep peacefully knowing you could lose your job tomorrow and still be fine. When this lesson lands, the pressure to prove anything fades. The flex is freedom. The status symbol is peace. And once you realize that, your priorities change. You start buying time instead of toys. The fifth lesson: getting rich and staying rich are two completely different skills. Getting rich takes optimism, courage, and sometimes a little bit of luck. Staying rich takes humility, caution, and constant awareness that things can change. Think about the investors who made millions in the dot-com boom. Many of them lost everything trying to repeat the magic. They knew how to climb, but not how to stay on top of the mountain. The people who last aren't the ones chasing huge returns. They're the ones who avoid big mistakes. They play defense. They keep a margin of safety, both in money and in mindset. Housel says, to do well over time, you don't need extreme returns. You need extreme endurance. That line is worth remembering. It applies to money, business, and even relationships. It's not about hitting home runs. It's about never striking out completely. Survival is underrated, but it's the ultimate advantage. The wealth you keep beats the wealth you make every single time. Lesson 6. The highest form of wealth is freedom. Your goal for pursuing money shouldn't be to have more things, but to have more control. Control over your time, your choices, and the people you spend your day with. Imagine waking up and deciding what to do, not what you have to do. That's wealth. Most people trade time for money until they're too tired to enjoy either. But when you save, invest, and live below your means, you're quietly buying time back from the future. That's why financial independence isn't about quitting your job. It's about having the option to. Freedom is the quiet luxury nobody sees but everybody desires. And the day you stop being owned by your bills or your boss, you understand what real wealth feels like. This book reveals something profound. Money isn't about formulas. Earn, save, invest, and repeat. It's a reflection of psychology. Money doesn't just measure wealth, it reveals temperament. If you're impatient, it exposes it. If you're fearful, it amplifies it. But if you're calm and disciplined, money becomes a tool for peace, not pressure. The more we understand money, the more we understand ourselves. True wealth isn't loud. It's the ability to say, I don't need to prove anything. It's walking away from the deal that feels wrong. It's choosing sleep over status, time over titles, and purpose over possessions. The best investors aren't the smartest. They're the most self-aware. Because at the end of the day, money behaves exactly how we do. Calm mind, calm portfolio. Chaotic mind, chaotic life. That's what the psychology of money teaches us. It's not just about finance. It's about perspective. Because once you master your mindset, the money part starts to follow naturally. If this video gave you something to think about, drop a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and check out these videos next. Thanks for watching. And remember, wealth isn't about more. It's about meaning.